to continue our Spooktober series, Real Life Exorcism, a documentary by JonTron, now labeled JonTronShow. As somebody that loves spooky content, as somebody that has delved into a number of Warren stories, loved Ghost Adventures when I was a kid, has delved into the Annabelle doll, the Conjuring, Appalachia, I have a love of spooky things. Sometimes there is a more mundane answer. A lot of times I'd feel there is a more mundane answer, and I feel it should be explored first. So let us go over a real-life exorcism documentary as covered by JonTron.
Good tidings, good people.
Oh my God.
Before we raise the curtain on the amazing video that we've got in store for you today, I'd just like to thank today's sponsor, Lords Mobile. Without Lords Mobile, this video would simply not have been possible.
Are they still around? They gotta be still around, right?
And guess
Lords?
what? They're back, baby! This time around, they've got $10,000 worth of iPhone 13 Pros and Amazon gift cards that you can win by downloading Lords Mobile from the link in the description. If you enjoy smashing armies with a simple tap or annihilating millions of enemies with the help of an alliance, then Lords Mobile is no doubt the best strategy game for you. And with hundreds of millions of players, not only can you build genuine lasting friendships within your guild, but you might even meet the love of your life. Never.
Man, we found that shit on Xbox Live. That was great. Xbox Live was a time for friendships and relationships.
Again shall you require to vanquish your foes and drive them from their lands without your sweetie pie by your side. Recently, Lords Mobile introduced a massive new update that allows you to go on more adventures throughout the kingdom. Each quest gives you basic rewards, and the more quests you complete, the better the prizes. And speaking of prizes, the top 3 players with the highest might will each receive an iPhone 13 Pro. Players in 4th to 6th place will get a $500 Amazon gift card, and those in 7th to 10th place will each take home a $200 Amazon gift card. Pretty sweet. And if that weren't enough on its own, everyone who downloads Lords Mobile from the link below will automatically be offered a $350 Lords Mobile gift pack. And you can spin the lucky wheel to win the remaining cash and other prizes to upgrade your castle. So good luck to everyone competing for those epic rewards. Happy hunting. And now, on to our feature presentation.
I mean, I get it. Not necessarily my thing. I'm not a huge mobile gamer. The memes, hey, you got games. I'm not a huge mobile gamer. It's okay. Not my thing. I'm kind of indifferent on it. Not that I hate it, right? I don't know. Just not my thing. Let me know if it was good, though. Let me know if Lords Mobile was good. I'm very curious to, know if the ad reads, the games were actually good.
I've got a riddle for you.
Oh?
What do you get if you take the director of world-renowned horror film The Exorcist, a team of Ivy League and internationally recognized physicians, and a once-in-a-lifetime chance to document a real-life exorcism greenlit by the literal Vatican?
Nothing good is what you're gonna get.
Seriously, what do you get from that? Well, that's right. You'd get this: the devil and Father Amorth.
I saw Amorth and immediately almost said Mortis. What is wrong with what is actually wrong with me? I'm just like, the devil, Father Mortis? I haven't even played Faith and more, the words, Unholy Trinity. I haven't. It's a cool game. I watched Wendigoon's thing on it. It messed with my head for a few days, let's put it that way. It's a good game, though. The Mortis meme is strong.
Documentary about a real exorcism made by the guy who made The Exorcist. Horror fans rejoice. What could be cooler? How could that go wrong? Okay, that sounds like magnum opus material to me. That's going no lower, in my opinion, than 76% on Tomato Meter. Absolute lowest I can see it going. This little-known film came out in 2017, and as I mentioned before, It was directed by William Friedkin, filmmaker of such legendary titles as The French Connection, Sorcerer, and as you already know, The Exorcist, also known as the greatest Christmas film of all time. Hence this. Didn't miss a Halloween deadline or anything, that'd be crazy. In fact, this film was so much scarier than his past works that the general public was too afraid to even see it, given that it pulled in a whopping $20,449 at the box office.
That's bad.
If you do the math, you'll see that comes down to 2,272 adventurous souls who dared to take the plunge. 3 of whom were literally my coworkers.
Yeah, that was me.
That was a movie film.
Basically just us in the theater.
Nice.
Okay, this
Legends.
is gonna be something. I present to you the Devil and Father Amorth.
Uh-huh.
At the time I made the film The Exorcist, I had never seen an exorcism.
You might say I was not qualified to make that movie, and I just made up the whole thing. It's a good thing I'm just thinking this, though, and not admitting it out loud.
More than
God, I'd have to deep dive The Exorcist again. I mean, I don't know. It gets so murky when you discuss some of these topics. And I mean, you have a number of ghost and paranormal TV shows that further murky the waters with, alleged fixing of certain things. It really just muddles the water and murkies the territory for people that want to look into this, if that makes sense. If you're going to label it as like a creepypasta, if you're going to label it as fiction, do so. It's when people they'll tout something is real or actual events and something never actually happened, and it in fact is just, hey, this is actually a creepypasta I found on this site. That's where I start drawing the line.
than 4 decades later, I witnessed the one you were about to see.
Listen, I'm in, okay? If it's anything like the fake one you made, this shit's gonna be ratchet. By the end of this, okay, I'm telling you, you're gonna wish that middle line there, you're gonna wish that said M. Night Shyamalan, okay? That's the kind of mood you're gonna be in by the end of this.
There are more than 60 million people in Italy.
Here's about 20 to 25 of them max. So you can already see how big of a problem we're looking at.
According to 2 of the leading newspapers and the major television channel, 500,000 Italians see an exorcist every year.
It takes about 8 of them to drag you off the Emperor Palpatine. You would subject the human race to 60 million of this? You need 60 million Italians? We have the recipe to
Hey, don't shit on pasta grannies. They're the grannies that make some like killer pasta.
spaghetti.
This woman is one of them. Her name is Christina. She's 46 years old and lives 200 miles southeast of Rome in a small mountain village.
What the fuck, dude? Just because she lives with Count Dracula doesn't mean you can dox her. That's messed up.
She's said to be possessed by the devil.
Oh my god, the devil looks even more ghoulish than I could have imagined, but...
Unintentional comedic cut. Oh my god.
Wait, hold on a second. Oh, that's the Exorcist? Oh, she's fucked.
Father Gabriella Amort has been the exorcist for the Diocese of Rome for 31
1,000 years. And somehow he looks older than his age. He was good friends with Emperor Justinian the Great.
He has exorcised Christina 8 times without success.
And as the well-known Italian saying goes, the 9th time better fucking work.
This will be her 9th. In the fall of 1972, I came to Georgetown, here in Washington, D.C., to film The Exorcist.
Okay, so in this part, he goes back to Georgetown University, near where a lot of the original scenes from the film were shot, and also where some of the events from the exorcism it was based on took place. And he kind of just gallivants around aggressively, and it's a bit strange, to say the least.
Yeah,
On this quiet
strange,
little street, in this quiet town called Cottage City, Maryland.
Could you not have gotten a better picture of the place, for God's sake? Where'd you grab this from?
John coming out swinging. Oh my god.
From Google Maps?
This is the house where the 1949 case began.
My God, you showed up outside their house like a maniac. $15,000 says they were not informed of this procedure at all. Excuse me, I made the movie The Exorcist. Can I scream outside of your house? No, don't worry, I won't. I will not go past the property line.
Where
I mean, technically he is on public property, right? Technically. I don't know how that goes. I know different states have different laws in regards to showing up at people's residences. I'd have to like reference actual state and local law. He is outside of the property, so I think it's fair use.
Lutheran family whose 14-year-old son was said to be possessed. He was examined by
Man is out there again, Jerry. Who is that man?
determine the
Get the
cause
gun.
of
Get the gun.
disturbing afflictions. This is the house at 36th and Prospect in Georgetown that we used as the exterior of the McNeil house in the film. Now,
Sir, excuse me, who are you?
the
This
way it
is
looked
private
back in
property.
1972.
Is that
and
a
that's
camera crew?
because we had to build
Sir?
a false front from the
Sir,
end of
excuse
this
me,
house
hello? Are you-
to the
are you
end
listening to me?
of the fence down there to bring the house.
People wonder why I just watch like Mr. Ballin, Wendigoon, Lore Lodge. People wonder why I just watch other channels, because this whole thing is still just getting into it's just a prologue to the damn like subject material. Like, what was this, an hour and 8 minutes? I'm pretty sure there's I think it's, what is it? I think Lore Lodge is like a 50-minute video on The Exorcist and the case that inspired it. I guarantee you there's 2 to 3 hour pieces on this, The Exorcist itself. So Wendy's, yeah, no, it's like, it boggles my mind. Like, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to just having these discussions. I'm not opposed to like, oh yes, let's discuss the paranormal. Let's discuss the paracausal. Let's discuss the extraterrestrial. Did you rule out, like in Appalachia, right? Was it the brown lights or amber lights, the phenomenon in Appalachia? Which is actually super cool from what I understand. Like, actually kind of a super cool phenomenon. In any event, like, it's like, okay, how many of you can independently verify that this is a thing? You know, because making sure that it's not herd mentality, making sure that it's not people corroborating with each other, right? Okay, all of you alone have had these experiences. Okay, that corroborates a little more. Have we tried debunking what it is with mundane means first? Is this repeatable? Is there any way that this can be mundanely repeated? No? Cool. Okay, now we can have that discussion. The internet has just kind of trained me into like looking at things from a different angle. The paracausal. Do you want to discuss the excuses of all for it? Yeah.
Closer to the steps. These steps are just a few feet
Yeah,
away
officer,
from
yeah,
the
yeah, he's
house.
still here. He's just like
They are
in my
now officially
stairwell.
known as the Exorcist steps.
Sure.
No, they're not. They're officially
me,
known as my
the
steps.
steps
He's
and
fleeing the scene now.
Georgetown
He's going down Lafayette. I don't
Spiritual
know.
home
Don't ask me. Okay.
of the Exorcist. The opportunity for me to witness and film an actual exorcism came about 45 years after I had made the film, and completely by accident.
I wonder how closed door these processes are. Because I mean, like, I grew up Catholic, and it's like I'm citing my own experiences. I'm remaining apolitical. I'm remaining a-religious. Citing, like, I mean, I grew up, and like, sure, you had stuff like communion and stuff, right? Like, it wasn't necessarily public information how this is performed, at least from my understanding. I guess I have to deep dive that on YouTube next. Ugh.
Or was it Providence?
Or was it by accident? Come to think of it, I don't exactly know what the word Providence means. I just saw it.
It's a city in Rhode Island.
Was on that wall over there when I looked. Oh, that's a map of Providence, Rhode Island?
Oh my god, I did not pre-watch this. Oh my god. That's stupid.
In April of 2016, I came to Rome to interview Father Amort for a magazine. He would allow me to film Christina's 9th exorcism.
She's got the phasmophobia camera out.
On May 1st, but with no crew, no lights, only a small video camera, alone.
And I said
So about verification.
to him, that's already what I'm running with, so joke's on you.
I had no idea what to expect.
The chat responds, close as tight as Fort Knox, it wasn't uncommon for it to be just the ordained exorcist and the patient alone together. Okay, so pretty lockdown information then, it seems. Got it.
Probably exorcism.
His pants are too big, aren't they?
I'm just fucking riffing, though.
But before witnessing Christina's exorcism, I met a woman who had been successfully exorcised by Father Amort. This is her story.
Purtroppo soffrì di un male spirituale. Mi precipitai da lui preoccupato e quando inizialmente mi chiese
Excuse me, who is this?
Subtitles at the very least?
Sliding into frame? Yo, could just like anybody just like get up in on this? Is this like free game? Because if so, my friend Jack Norman does like a sick Donald Duck impression. It'll be like really. Let me bring him in. You do this. Yeah. What the fuck, dude? How does he do that? He's
Back in the 90s when you were party lining shit. That's a term you haven't heard in a hot minute, right, chat? Party lining.
fucking crazy.
I first realized there was something wrong
Okay, there
when
we
I
go.
went with a friend to a sanctuary. When they began to celebrate the Mass, I started having unusual symptoms.
Un brutto caso di diarrhea.
I started screaming like crazy. Someone called the police. The police came, but they wouldn't come in.
Mio Dio,
My God, you could smell the whole thing from the top of St. Peter's Square. There wasn't enough rigatoni in all of Rome that would have convinced me to go in there.
Gross.
They were terrified hearing me scream that way.
No.
No. The screaming was fine. It was the biblical volume of shit that colored.
What does he have on his vest? Smoke? What is that? A smoke grenade? What? I mean, he is wearing. What vest is he wearing? I can't even tell if that's airsoft or not. That's I mean, I kind of like the vest actually. It does fit the. It fits the casual military, like casual military civilian aesthetic that I kind of like actually. Chat is ripping into me right now for mentioning party lining and just like God, they feel
my decision.
Father
Guard it,
Amort
they could be.
continued his work at his residence, the home of the Pauline priests.
Is anyone else just hearing the announcer just sounds like Donald Trump? I'm just strictly from just a voice pattern. All I can hear is Donald Trump when he speaks. Like have the AI voice generator memes really just gotten to my head that much? like this isn't, once again, this isn't affiliation, this isn't any, I'm just like noting that why does this sound like Donald Trump's voice pattern?
Oh, look at that. Even the exorcists are working from home these days. Times are a-changing.
You can hear it.
Espiritu Sante, Sante Maria. Hey, Darcy, no! You do not shit on my new rug! No! Sorry. That was just my daughter. Oh, in fact, she's probably hungry. These are supposed to be for the Holy Communion, but needs must, you know? Go on, then. Eat up. Okay, where were we?
Which brings up the meme. How many communion wafers do you have to eat one whole Jesus? I can't stop. The punches just keep rolling.
On May 1st, 2016, he invited me to witness
I can't unhear
Christina's 9th exorcism.
I feel like I shouldn't be laughing. This is a
Christina, why
comedy.
are you here to see Father Amort?
What the hell is with this angle? Was he trying to make her feel uncomfortable? Who sets up a shot like this, domineering over the person they're interviewing?
Okay,
Yeah.
this guy is totally normal and on the level. In no way ever is this the guy who literally gave an interview to The Guardian saying, if I wasn't a director, I might have become a serial killer.
I mean, a lot of people have the requisites to do that. People just choose better. There's way better things you could be doing with your time and way healthier things you could be doing.
Oh no, wait, this is that guy. Look at this. This is a real article by The Guardian. William Friedkin interview. If I wasn't a director, I might have become a serial killer. Oh, okay.
This man's on a list, right? He's gotta be on a list.
I've from time to time felt the urge to do violence. I still do, but I curbed that. After that, she just drops a solid how. My conscience kicks in and I'm able to deal with that through the films I do. If I wasn't a film director, I might have become a serial killer. Why a serial killer, she asks, concerned for her safety. Violence uncurbed is dangerous, he adds. You have to channel it. Many of the great painters or composers led very violent and strange lives. Okay. Interviewers like, oh, hold on.
Like, it's the I'm in danger meme.
I dropped my pen. Will, you sure this isn't a bit of projection on your part? Who are you talking about? I can't think of any violent painters or composers. I don't know, did Michelangelo get into bar fights? I think it's just you. You and maybe Hitler. This is frankly more awkward than that time Bill Cosby gave the journalist the answer, Obi baby. Show the source for that, please.
What?
Okay. I didn't know what you maybe had a level and then maybe crevice.
What?
I may have paraphrased.
You know, I feel like I sound like that sometimes because I just can't get words out of my mouth. Like that is a perfect personification of just like how I try to speak English. Like I can think the words, but ain't nothing coming out.
Il diavolo è un puro spirito.
What is this framing? The man looks like a deer in headlights. Was the room too small or something?
Are they trying
Give
to
the guy
like
some headroom?
They aren't even using the rule of thirds.
Una conoscenza come
What the hell? What is this angle? Did he feel the need to prove he was the one filming the documentary? I need equal screen time with all the characters, okay? This is my magnum opus.
How can you be sure that Christina is possessed?
I can only be sure, and this is important, read my lips on this one. I can only be sure when the funds have cleared. Okay, here it is, the main event. It's about to go down. We're about to witness for ourselves a real, once-in-a-lifetime exorcism event. I'm ready. Let's go.
Why do I somehow doubt this? There's something, there's a disturbance in the force, if you will. I severely doubt that. I would assume they would use the I don't necessarily take it. I assume they would use the unedited because of how like secretive and how like, oh, this is what this is. This would be right. I'm assuming that this would be just the unedited would be what would be preferred from a directing standpoint. The shock value, if you were.
I'm really looking for a way to start things off without an immediate oof entering the discourse. You know, I could take a yeesh, a yikes. Hell, I'll settle for a peach sake, but don't be giving me oof.
Oof. Okay, so that's holy water. My phasmophobia is kicking in at this point.
Excuse me, aim that, please. She's the possessed one. You want her, not me.
Father Amort begins every exorcism by thumbing his nose at the devil.
Listen, I'm just saying, all right?
Yeah.
If I'm the devil, I'm invisible.
That symbol of disrespect with intent. Okay, I can get behind the logic there.
Stalking around that room and I catch one of these going down? Are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna stick around after something like that? I may be the king of darkness, but I'm not an idiot.
In the room are Christina's family and other priests to assist.
That's abnormal though, right? Like, I guess, because I mean, you have like, what house was it? I can't remember which house it was. It was the one where the former tenant ganked his entire family, said that someone made him do it. He expired himself, I think. And then they sold it to the next inhabitants. And they had a lot, there were like 3 entities in their house, allegedly. And Ed and Lorraine Warren had to come in. And they had to exorcise like 5-6 times, something like that. This does not seem normal. Power of Faith is in numbers. I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess that would be fair. I would have actually... I'm surprised at the lack of iconography here, though. I'm surprised because we have holy water. We have the intent behind thumbing your nose at it, right? But we don't have... I get... There seems to be a lack of crucifixes or crosses. I mean, he has a shawl. At most to be a senior exorcist and apprentice. Right. I'm kind of just like analyzing this a little deep. I'm trying to, maybe I'm providing way too much thought into this. Because like, Kip has known a lot of interesting people, let's put it that way. I mean, it's not like there's any sort of cord cutting symbolism in other practices. It's not like there's any symbol or iconography there. Purple sash in the shawl, all that's needed. Interesting. That's fascinating. I have people that I need to go reach out to a friend and get their thoughts on a couple things now that I think about it. I'm being vague on purpose. Yeah, no, that's interesting. I'm used to other practices with a lot more paraphernalia is the wrong word, but it's the word I'm going to use. Let's put it that way. I meet a lot of interesting people. It's actually why I love content creation so much, is because I can meet so many cool people.
Father Amort.
And an unrelated guy who's stuck, but doesn't know how to ask to leave. He did it. He made her sound like a Nazi zombie from Call of Duty. I knew he would do it. I was just waiting.
Awful.
And he did. The best part about this is you can literally find a version, for some reason, of this footage with the clean, non-doctored audio. I mean, the whole thing behind this production was that it was supposed to be authentic and not dramatized in any way. So why in the hell would he do this?
I do agree. If this is doctored audio, this defeats the whole purpose. Because, like in Entering, right? How it was just, you know, John was commenting on like the oops and stuff like that. It was meant to be authentic. But, like, it's not authentic if you doctor the audio. So, like, it's already contradicting itself. And that's the issue I kind of take with it. Like, who's the target audience here? Rosaries are noted. Grandparents, when they were married, used to be part of a prayer group that went into those houses and prayed with the backyard out the front door, and they've seen some interesting things. There's actually one house they couldn't exercise because it's so deeply rooted in the house. I've heard that certain entities and things can root themselves into the house, which actually prompts the interesting phenomenon of if a location or building itself is so deeply ingrained in a, let's just say, you know, say it is a verifiable haunting of some capacity, right? Like all the mundane work has been done. Like, no, we've done everything we physically can. We're just getting that out of the way, for example's sake. And you bulldoze that or burn it down. Don't burn it down. What does that do to everything inside? These are the things that keep me up at 3 a.m. playing Phasmophobia. Fire, salt, and earth. I guess that's fair. I mean, that's interesting. I've seen, like, these subjects I find fascinating. I try to be somewhere in the middle, right? Between mundane and paranormal, between logical and what's the word I'm also looking for? Logical and relying on faith, right? That kind of thing. I try to meet everyone in the middle because everyone's going to have a different brand of what they do. Everyone's going to have a different belief. Everyone's going to have a different viewpoint on things. That's just humans. And, you know, rather than ostracize each other, make people feel lesser for their beliefs, it's just, you know, look, you have your thing, I have my thing, they have their thing, cool. We're all good here. Which I feel is a bit of an oddity because of how polarizing people can be. But it's just interesting to see how, like, different practices deal with the same thing, which is, I don't know, it's interesting to me. Not that I can use any of this information, right? It's just like, it's interesting, just random facts to have.
Excuse me, is this building in safety? Thank you very much. By the way, very fucked up whatever I saw here. I don't really know what I was expecting, really, from this. I guess this, to be honest. I don't know how she sat through this 9 times, okay? I'm having a hard time going on once. It's not happening, is it?
That also brings up a good point, which brings about the success rate. Because we have, once again, we're going with, I have no opinion on the Warrens. I really don't. I don't know enough about them. I know people are pretty divisive on them. They're polarized. I don't have an opinion. I'm just going to put it that way, right? In regards to situations that they've dealt with, it's like, when they bring in some priests, it takes multiple attempts. And I'm kind of curious on like the mechanical aspects of that and why there's a % chance of failure, if that makes sense. But obviously I'm not in a position that like I'm ever really going to know. That's not really like my place, if that makes... I'm aware that while I am a self-proclaimed idiot on the internet, there's things that I'm just not going to know. There's military things I'm not going to know because of OPSEC, because of people just like, look, you just don't need to know, and that's perfectly fine. There's things, especially when regards to belief and religion, yeah, I'm not going to know. I'm not going to know everything, not by any means. There are not just there are closed practices all across the world for very good reasons. Not because they're dangerous or anything. It's just because they just don't want to deal with anyone else, and that's perfectly fine. Anyway, it's interesting. I feel it's a weakness of a person's spiritual faith in the good or evil. I guess that's fair. And I guess it could also come down to if it does root itself in a house or structure or object, it could become just, if you're not treating the source, right? It is like that infection, right? Where the Annabelle doll, for instance, right? If you're not taking care of the Annabelle doll itself, everything around it is going to continue to have issues. You are just dealing with the after effects of the issues. And thus why it is sealed away. Until TikTokers take it out and we live in a society. And it's even then, even if you're a stout non-believer, right? Even if you're just like, oh, it's a doll, whatever, right? Why would you ever, if something has a reputation, just why deal with it, right? If you have a field somewhere in your town, right? And like, say you go to Europe, right? And there's a field, right? And oh, there's actually unexploded ordnance from World War II. There's unexploded landmines out there. Are you going to walk out there? There could be landmines. There could not be landmines. They could be deactivated. They could have all been dug up. They could still be active. Why would you take that chance? And I think that's mostly just like looking at things and being like, does it exist? Does it not exist? Is this a tale spun to deter someone from not dealing with something, rather than say like a Doulahan or something being, or ghost being in this field after dark? Maybe it's just there to prevent you from stepping on a landmine, right? It's not yours, don't touch. That too. I have learned through vicariously, if something presents itself, especially in nature or old human dwellings, don't take it. Don't take it home. It's not a souvenir you want. Just don't take it. Something looks like it wants you to take it. Don't take it. As somebody that regularly finds rocks in the wood that seems like they're presenting themselves.
It's not. They're not doing that. Is that happy birthday?
The day of the exorcism happened to be Father Amort's 91st birthday.
Oh, cool.
Right after the fucking exorcism ends. I'm talking right after the exorcism ends.
Come on.
They have a surprise birthday party for Father Amort. No, I'm serious. That's really how it goes down.
That's
this is a
turn.
documentary. They just pulled the devil out of this bitch's liver. Now they're serving ice cream cake. I don't know what to say, but I want a slice.
He was happy, and so was I, because it looked like Christina was cured.
Hey, okay, look, if you can't beat him, join him. I mean, who am I to stop this anyway? Father Mort seems happy, seems to know where he is. Cake's good. Salute, you know?
Yeah.
I have to say, though, I don't know how I feel about the choice of the cake there. That's a bit weird, a little tacky. Who's got to eat his face? He should eat his own face.
Oh, ringraziamo il Signore.
What happened?
What?
Did the film freeze?
What?
Where are we going? No, I'm not going. I am not
I know. I want chat. I want cake too, chat. I want some cake too.
going.
Neil, what do you make of what you've just seen?
Absolutely amazing.
What the fuck? Okay, so what happened?
Would you give any sort of context? Anything at all? Context, like explanation, clarification, history, anything. I'm lost.
What happens here is all of a sudden the film just stops and reverses, and now we're in some random doctor's office, and William Friedkin is just interrogating him about the footage he just shot.
So this is the footage he recorded, and therefore using an effect to go back and look, you have just watched this footage. This is what this doctor has watched as well. And now the doctor's going to break this down, is how I view that from a cinematography standpoint.
So there is a you know.
You
There
know,
it is right there. You see that? Right there.
you know.
That live on camera, what you've just seen is a man's soul leaving his body. Doc's like sweating, looking around. You know, he's like, this is it?
Awful.
This is really, you didn't bring anyone? No crew at all? Is that camera on? Are you real seriously the guy who made like the French Connection and shit?
I don't know the underlying origin of it.
For God's sake, Mr. Friedkin, can you show the man some respect? He's a medical doctor. You're just lounging back there, balls out, fully spread, barely paying attention. You can at least feign interest.
Is this some kind of brain disorder?
Yeah, I'm starting to think it might be.
Do you think she could have been better helped by brain surgery than this religious ritual?
All right, Doc, that's great, but let's get to the brass tacks here. What do you think of this? You think of what I'm thinking? Right in there. Just give it a little scramble. That might do something.
How many surgeries have you performed? Brain surgery?
Well, more than 5,000.
Are you
What?
Prepared to say that there's such a thing as exorcism and demonic possession?
So at this point, the film just starts jumping around and getting a bit jarring. He goes around and talks to a bunch of legitimately well-respected medical doctors from around the country, shows them his shitty home videotapes, and then watches them struggle while he tries to extract sound bites out of them.
Here's the point.
Yeah.
You have to believe it in order to go through it.
Yes and no. Like, once again, you have to debunk the mundane. You have to debunk the logical. If this could be something, have we rolled it out yet? Like, I don't get what's so hard about it. I really don't. This is coming from somebody that loves looking into the spooky, that loves looking into the paranormal. But goddamn it, you got to do your research and then present it to me.
Probably will not have this in somebody who has no religious background.
Right.
I've never seen anything like that before.
What?
But I've only practiced neurology for 35 years. But that is a coincidental linkage between those two phenomena.
Do you have any belief in exorcism as a possible treatment? What do you think this is? Unconscious fraud?
It's like
This
placebo
hurts.
response. We're getting you the idea that if you believe something to be likely to work, it's more likely to work.
It looks like the state that we call delirium.
Right. So something like the case of the woman who woke up speaking a perfect different language with no exposure to the dialect or country, without that source material present. Okay. We have something weird here. Not necessarily paranormal. We have something weird here. We need to investigate that further. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm very like, I have to have way more context before I even bother to assign what it is, right? Like, if you go into a residence, right, and some spooky shit is happening, you go upstairs, and you see under like the closet carpet, right, you pull it up, and suddenly there's a Crowley-branded pentagram, right? The one that's the modification from other material, right? They specifically Aleister Crowley one, right? Okay. Suddenly we have a different situation that we're dealing with rather than somebody who's potentially just under stress, under sleep deprivation, under hunger, in any number of underlying medical conditions, medical condition flaring up. There's so many other things there. Once we start getting other things into the mix, that becomes interesting. And then we have a completely different way we start approaching things. And even it's not even that this is correlation being causation. Look, the presence of this branded icon, right? Okay, we have this here. Well, correlation is not causation. I have to consider, why the fuck is this here? Who put this here, right? Because at that point it would have to have some sort of physical source. And because of the intent in regards to the modifications of that specific icon, questions need to be asked to further determine what's going on.
It was a revelation to me that the psychiatric diagnosis of Christina's condition is recognized around the world as demonic possession.
Have you seen your own documentary, dude? Like, you're not just trying to lie, right? No, you can't, because it's like the last 15 minutes just disproved what you said. Hold on.
Yeah, dude, like here it is, like the last 20, 25 minutes of the documentary just completely like disproved everything you just said, dude. So, unable to get the doctors to satisfy his wild theories, William Friedkin then moves on to what I assume he considers the next best thing, the Archbishop of Los Angeles, which is something I just learned exists.
That doesn't surprise me.
Have any misgivings about recommending a person in extreme spiritual disease to an exorcist?
What happens in the church is we have teams of people that will look in a particular case, and that team will involve usually a physician.
God, why do I feel? It's not about being on a watch list, it's how many watch lists you're on. I feel like this could put me on a watch list with certain organizations. God.
Usually a psychologist, psychiatrist, etc.
My God,
Awful.
Pastor, would you just save me the time? If I knew you'd be as boring as those doctors back there, I would have just followed in the footsteps of Picasso and stayed home and become a serial murderer.
If I started crawling up the walls here, or moving around on the ground like a snake.
Yeah.
It almost feels like he's trying to fulfill confirmation bias at this point. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Feels like the director is just trying to fulfill confirmation bias at this point.
What would you do?
I'd call the police. No, I
I'm dead serious, okay? I come in here, I'm pulling one of these absolute mind benders. What do you do here? You're absolutely, completely helpless. What are you gonna do here? Honestly, tell me, what the hell are you gonna do? All right, by the time, you're gonna panic, and by the time the police come, I'm gonna be in the underbrush.
Awful.
What are you gonna do here? Tell me, you have very limited options.
And then suddenly, it was over.
Oh, thank God.
But for how long?
Son of a bitch.
Father Amort had taken sick and was in the hospital, but I made an appointment to meet with Christina in Rome. She called my line producer, Francesco, and rescheduled the meeting to a small town 200 miles southeast of Rome.
She rescheduled the meeting. It was to a small town southeast of the other town. I can't unhear the voice. I can't unhear the AI memes.
Called Alatri. Where are you? She screamed. We're at the park, Francesco answered. Where are you? I'm where I told you I'd be. At Santa Maria Maggiore, the church in the town square.
Awful.
I didn't take my camera inside.
Oh, she's gonna not be at the church. Oh, whoa? I'm rolling my eyes.
Hope you didn't miss anything.
So this is my memory of what happened on July 4th, 2016.
Well, at least you know he's not gonna exaggerate.
When Francesco and I entered the church.
Oh, there she is.
Awful.
Hi, Christina. Thanks for meeting us. She's great. Once you get used to the banshee scream, she's great.
It was freezing cold inside, and we were trapped in a living nightmare.
Do we have any sort of independent verification on this third party? Any sort of sensory data? You bring in a thermometer? Like anything at all? I was about to say ghostwriting, but we're not playing Faz. Anything at all, man. Like, this is why I can't take people seriously. I can't. Like, I hate it.
Christina was screaming. She slid around the floor in a cheap plastic chair, pulling her boyfriend Davide with her.
That must have been a freaking scene. I bet it would have looked good on camera, too.
Yeah.
Give us back.
Dude, it would have looked good on an HD camera. 2016? What, most smartphones had like 720p capability? Bro, that would have made awesome. That would have made an awesome film. Awesome. Damn. Just, no, we don't even have the potato quality like 140p like Razer phone flip phone camera that like every paranormal and extraterrestrial thing seems to be caught on nowadays. Who is wandering around out here with a Razer flip phone from like 2005? I just need to know. I just want to know how like the paranormal shit just keeps happening to you.
Back your film, he shouted at me. If you don't give it back to us, we'll kill you. We'll find your family and we'll kill you all. It was the first time anyone had threatened my life.
If that cross turns upside down, I'm actually gonna shit a brick. because I'm so fucking tired of the pop culture cross turns upside down when that's not even what that means.
Well, you better believe I was gonna make sure it'd also be the last. I may have forgotten my camera, but I always bring something that can shoot. So the forces of light joined to fight the forces of evil. It was me, Boss Baby, Captain Price from Call of Duty 3,
Yeah.
San Andreas, Mr. Bean, Satan, and me, but I repeat myself on the last one.
Awful.
It's time to put the devil back into remission.
Half-Life.
Francesco and I left the church, left Alatri. For a half hour, neither of us said a word.
It was awkward.
Yeah.
Well, that really escalated, huh? I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that to happen. What do we do? You guys want to go to like a ristorante? We probably should have brought the camera, huh? It's gonna look suspicious. I think we didn't bring the cameras. Probably it's a pretty important thing. We should have brought that too. But they'll believe us, right? I got a track record. What do you think, Arbiter from Halo 3?
Arbiter.
He's right.
He is right.
He's usually right.
Yeah, he is. Don't doubt him again.
I'm not trying to brag, but you don't have many options, and I've got pretty much all the cards in this situation. I mean, you get too close.
Who is? That's his body. His legs are probably here at most. Is there somebody else with their leg in this? I need to know.
You know, I'm gonna give you a little venom in the fangs, and I'm looking at you.
I love
I'm
it.
giving you a direct look right when that's happening. That can't make you feel good. This tail of mine, what do you think that's good for? If Bob left, Bob right, duck, okay, feint, right jab.
I want one of these.
But the venom is the main thing.
This is perfect. Like that is streamer material. Oh, this was such a shit show. I fucking loved it. Like, I'm like the person that just holds a bunch of random information and can talk to different people from all walks of life. I love being that person. I love meeting cool people, but god damn it, sometimes I just don't want to even have these conversations. Like, it's just like that. What was there of substance other than John in the past? Like, what? Well, I'm brain 47 minutes. What was there of substance? I fuck me. Oh, that hurts. Well, I'm gonna go push this out for a Spooktober release before the end of the month. If you watch this, all 47 minutes, I'm sorry. we shit posted this into oblivion. I'm both sorry and not sorry about it. It broke my model. There we go. It shit posted so hard my model is now stuck. That's the lesson from this. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this. Obviously keep it apolitical, a-religious, like just yeah. just be chill, all that fun stuff. I'm gonna go unstuck my model and I'm gonna go, I don't know. I'm gonna go watch something that just bleaches my brain for a little bit. Thank you, John, for making an absolutely awesome video. That was it was funny. It was funny. Like my opposition is not to John in the slightest here. It is to how this got made as a process. I don't know. I'm boggled by it. But yeah, please be respectful, civil in the comments. I'm gonna get my model stuck, and I will see you in the next one.